Born in St. Joseph, Missouri, was the only son of Deborah Nelson Mathers Briggs and Marshall Bruce Mathers, Jr. His ancestry is diverse, including Scottish, Welsh, English, German, Swiss, Polish, and possibly Luxembourg ancestors. His father abandoned the family when he was 1.5 years old, and Marshall was raised only by his mother in conditions of poverty. At the age of 12, he and his mother Deborah had already moved several times and lived in several cities and towns in Missouri, including St. Joseph, Savannah, and Kansas City, before settling in Warren, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. After obtaining a copy of the album License to Ill by the group Beastie Boys as a teenager, Marshall became interested in hip-hop, doing amateur raps at the age of 14, under the pseudonym EMINEM. Shortly after, he joined the group Bassment Productions, which released an EP entitled Steppin' Onto the Scene. After the release of the EP, Marshall left the group and changed his stage name to Soul Intent, and released in 1995 his first single, called Fuckin' Backstabber, under the independent label Mash and Duck Records. Despite being a student of Lincoln High School in Warren, he often participated in freestyle battles at the defunct Osborne High School on the east side of Detroit. Although most of the members of the hip-hop movement in their state are descendants of African Americans, Marshall ended up being well accepted by the underground hip-hop public. After repeating the 9th grade twice for excessive absences and low grades, he dropped out of school at the age of 17. In 1991, his maternal uncle, Ronald "Ronnie" Nelson, committed suicide with a shotgun shot in the head. Marshall was very close to him and was devastated by such a fact. Today, he sports a tattoo on his left arm with the writing, "Ronnie RIP." Initially, he signed a contract with FBT Productions in 1992, commanded by brothers Jeff and Mark Bass. He also cooked and washed dishes in a small restaurant in St. Clair Shores for some time, where he received a minimum wage. In 1996, his debut album Infinite, recorded at the Bassment Studio, was released through the independent label Web Entertainment. Already with the stage name of EMINEM, he recalls, "Obviously, I was young and influenced by other artists, and I remember several comments saying that I looked like NES and AZ. Infinite served for me to try to find out what my style of rap was, how my voice would sound in the microphone and live. It was a phase of growth. I felt Infinite as a demo album that ended up being pressured to become a studio. This album included the difficulties to support his newborn daughter Haley Jade Scott, the difficulty of making money, and the dream of getting rich." At the beginning of his career, EMINEM collaborated with 5'9" MC Royce in the duet called Bad Meets Evil. After the release of Infinite, Eminem's personal struggles against drug and alcohol abuse culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. Jimmy Iovine, president of Interscope Records, requested a demo tape from Eminem after he was in the second position of the 1997 Rap Olympics. Eminem's victory at the Wake Up Show's freestyle event in the Musician of the Year category also made it easier for him to sign a contract with a record label. Iovine showed the tape to producer Dr. Dre, founder of Aftermath Entertainment. With the release of the Slim Shady EP, Mathers was accused of imitating the style and the metric used by rapper Cage. Dre and Eminem began recording tracks together for their debut on a big label, to the point of leading Marshall to make a special appearance on the album Devil Without a Cause by renowned rapper Kid Rock. Hip-hop magazine The Source highlighted Eminem in the March 1998 unsigned Hype column. His third major studio album, The Eminem Show, was released in the summer of 2000 and, like the previous work, proved to be a success. In the first week, it reached #1 in the charts and sold more than 1 million copies. The main single is Without Me, in which Eminem makes derogatory comments about boy bands, Limp Bizkit, Moby, Lynn Chaney, and other personalities. In 2006, he produced the CD Eminem Presents the Re-Up, with the participation of several artists. After a period without recording, in 2009, he released the CD Relapse, which reached the first place of Billboard, with the song We Made You. That same year, he was elected, in a popular vote, as the best rapper of all time by Vibe magazine. In 2010, Eminem released Recovery, which was at the top of the charts for 5 weeks. The singer was considered one of the greatest icons of MTV pop music. In 2013, he released the Marshall Mathers LP2, and in 2014 he released Shady 15, a musical collection of several artists from his Shady Records label. He married and divorced the same woman twice, starred in a fictional version of himself in a blockbuster movie, and won 15 Grammy Awards and 17 Billboard Music Awards. He is also the only artist to have 9 consecutive albums in first place on the charts. During the height of his fame, Eminem was hit by his own mother's lawsuits in an attempt to snatch money from him. She wrote a memoir in 2008, My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem, where she claimed that her lawyer filed a lawsuit against Marshall without her permission. But she sued Eminem in 1999 for defamation, requesting $10 million. Another shock, claiming that she was a drug addict. That Eminem was a juvenile delinquent who was in prison all the time. But despite his tortured youth, Eminem managed to stay away from legal problems until the age of 20, when the rapper was arrested for shooting a car with a paintball gun. Fortunately for him, the accuser did not appear for trial, so the case ended up being ruled out. The friendship relationship between 50 Cent and Eminem began in 2002, when 50 signed a contract with M's Shady record label to release, the following year, his praised debut album Get Rich or Die Trying. The rappers have strengthened their relationship over the years, and this mutual loyalty was evident in the preparation of the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, in which Eminem allegedly threatened to leave the performance if 50 Cent was not on the team of stars scheduled for the performance. Eminem is one of the most successful artists in the music industry. In addition to several gold, platinum and diamond records, he is one of the few artists who are e.g. Oscar, Grammy and Emmy winner. Marshall has an Oscar for Best Original Song for Lose Yourself, soundtrack to 8 Mile, Street of Illusions, a feature that premiered, an Emmy for his performance at the 2022 Super Bowl, and 15 Grammys. Eminem is the male artist who sold the most albums in the last decade and the rapper who sold the most albums in history, one of the biggest of all time.